guys, welcome back to Finding with Jessie, the life coach. So today we are going to be talking about how you could be that woman who stands out in the crowd. Yes, you know that woman who walks into the room and literally commands respect by just walking in. All eyes are on her, right? There's something about her. There's like an aura about her. There's a way about her that when she walks in, people just, right? It's like that silence, and she just owns who she is. Well, that is called grace. And today we are going to be talking about it and how to embody that graceful side of yourself. About grace, what are we talking about, right? When a woman is graceful, what is that about, right? What does she embody? Is it her clothes, right? Is it her hair? Is it her smile? What is it about a person that makes them graceful? What is it about a graceful woman that makes people like stop dead in their tracks and just takes notice of this woman? What is it about her? Well, when a woman is graceful, it's a combination of so many different things, right? It is about the way she speaks. It is about her attire and her clothing, right? It is about her appearance. It is about her etiquette. It is about her mannerisms, right? It is the way she holds herself to a certain standard. It's about her confidence. It's about how respectful and polite she is to others. It's about her honesty. It's her way that she confronts certain situations. It's her way that she commands respect without asking for it, right? Because she gives off a certain aura that people know, wait, oh, I'm not gonna mess with this one. Or, ooh, this is a real one, right? There's just something about her. So today I'm going to be talking about all those aspects and how to carry yourself like a woman of poise and sophistication, right? And be able to demand that respect. When you come into the room, people know like, uh-oh, she has arrived, right? So I'm going to be sharing 10 ways that you can start embodying these characteristics into your life and your character. So let's get started. So first thing to know about a graceful woman is that she is confident inside and out. And that's why people give her that respect, because she respects herself, right? She feels comfortable with who she is as a woman, right? And that radiates, right? It radiates outside of her, right? It projects outside of her. She is comfortable with who she is. She is comfortable in her body. She is comfortable within her skin, right? So that's the first element to a graceful woman, and becoming a graceful woman is to embody your confidence. So the key to developing confidence is to develop self-love. That is the key component to going towards being a confident woman, is you need to have self-love for yourself, right? You have that standard, and that shows through you, right? So that's what confidence is about. You stand in your ground and you're very confident in who you are. You're very confident in the power you have inside. The second element to grace is going to be your language, right? How you speak. How you speak to others, right? The words that you are using, the language that you are using, right? But not only the words, but how you're using those words, the tone, right? The pace of your words, and of course the words itself, right? So graceful women, they don't need to be vulgar, right? They can get the point across without screaming, without cursing, without going to vulgarity. They don't need to do that, right? Because when they speak, people listen. And when they speak, people know that they mean business, right? So you don't even need to get to that level. So that's one thing to embody if you're looking to be more graceful, is to work on your speech, work on your language. Number 3 is always to be polite and respectful. So graceful women are always polite and respectful to everyone they meet, right? They don't look at social status. They don't believe in any of that, right? So they're going to be as respectful to the CEO of the company, to the janitor cleaning the floors, right? They're respectful to all, including themselves, right? So they respect themselves, they respect their limits, they respect their feelings, right? That is the ultimate part of being a graceful lady. You're also respectful. You give respect in so many different ways, right? So when you're speaking to someone, you don't need to roll your eyes, you don't need to interrupt them, you don't need to speak over them, you don't need to belittle them, right? You don't need to do that when you're a graceful lady. So when you're graceful, you give everybody that platform. That doesn't mean that you tolerate things that you don't want to be a part of. So when you're graceful and you're in a dynamic that you don't want to be a part of, then you politely excuse yourself. So being graceful doesn't mean that you tolerate behavior that you don't want to be a part of. No, sir. So when you are graceful and you are in dynamics that you don't want to be a part of, you just politely excuse yourself, right? Or you politely end conversations. You don't want to be a part of something? No, thank you. I'll pass. You never have to stoop to someone's level. When someone's trying to get you to have emotional reaction, you actually respond versus reacting. And that's a big part of being a graceful woman. You learn how to embody these characteristics where you don't let other people control your emotions. You learn how to come from a space that you're detached from that emotional trigger, right? You sit down, you let it pass you, and if you're not agreeing with this person, or you feel like this person is getting to the point that they're disrespecting you, you still hold up to your characteristics, right? You don't let other people change you. And like I said, you politely just say, I don't want to be a part of this. And that's it. You end what needs to end. You don't second guess it. You don't play games. You just cut it straight out. You go for the kill. That's how a graceful woman handles situations. So 5 is all about etiquette and mannerisms. So when you are a graceful woman, it's all about how you handle yourself, right? Etiquette and mannerisms can mean so many different things, right? Like we could talk about having proper etiquette when you're at a dining table, when you eat with others. And that could look like, not putting your hands in people's food, not speaking with your mouth full, right? Not shouting over the table, waiting till everybody gets their meal to sit down and eat, right? Things like that. That's proper etiquette at a dinner table. But then there's also proper etiquette and mannerisms at, how you carry yourself everywhere. So if you want to have something that you want to throw away, you don't throw it all over the floor, all over the place, right? You look for a garbage can. If you don't have a garbage can, you hold on to it. Etiquette and mannerisms can extend to, questions that you ask, right? When you have etiquette and mannerisms, you don't ask inappropriate questions, right? And some of those questions will sound like, how's your marriage going? When are you going to have a baby? How much did you pay for your house? How much did you pay for your car? How much do you earn for a living, right? Those are very personal questions that could be very invasive, right? And those are things that you don't normally ask a person that you don't really know. So like I said, etiquette can mean a huge amount of things, and it means a different amount of things to people. But when you have proper etiquette, you basically know how to handle yourself in social settings. 5 is all about honesty and clear communication. A graceful woman always speaks what's on her mind. She says what she means, and she means what she says, right? She's very clear. She's very direct. There's no wishy-washy. There's no, it's not clear. There's no mixed signals. If you ask her a question, she gives you a direct response. And when she asks you a question, she expects a direct response. So when you are embodying how to be graceful, you have to learn how to communicate clearly, right? So a graceful woman will always communicate clearly, right? She's going to communicate her wants, her needs, her desires, her standards, right? There's never no confusion there, right? And she's always honest. A graceful woman always operates in integrity, right? So it doesn't make a difference whether people can see what she's doing, right? She's still gonna uphold her morals and her values when people are not around. It doesn't make a difference. She doesn't operate for a crowd. She doesn't operate for people, right? She's not looking for validation and looking for praise. What you see is what you get. In front of you or behind your back, she's going to be the same person. And that's truly how women of grace operate, right? It's all about her character, right? She has the utmost integrity and she upholds her character. And that's how you know when you truly embody a gracefulness within you. A woman always has a good form. What is a good form? A good form is the way she sits, right? So when she sits up, right? She's confident. She's not slouching over like this, right? Like trying to bury her head or trying to not be seen. No. Graceful women, like I said, they are confident, right? So they are gonna sit with that confidence. Not only do you sit with that confidence, but you also sit like a lady, right? What does that look like? That means that when you sit, your legs are not all spread apart, right? Like if you're gonna cross your legs, then you cross your legs in a way that is graceful, that you're not showing everything, right? You might be showing a little bit of leg, right? But not too much. So that's how a woman's gonna come across when you see her sitting, right? But not only when she's sitting, but how she moves, how she walks, right? A woman with grace holds her head up high. She's not slouching. She's not looking down. She's not trying to avoid eye contact. She makes that eye contact, right? And she walks proudly, right? because she knows she's full of confidence, right? She's walking with a mission. She got somewhere to go. Usually women who have grace, they always got somewhere to be, or they always have somewhere to go. And even if they don't have somewhere to go, like meaning in an urgent sense, they just know they're focused. They have a certain focus to them. They have a certain vision, right? So they're not looking and worry about everybody else, and they're not like all in their phone and, you know, trying to figure out where this appointment is and where that appointment is, right? Because they know they got it, right? So they're walking like they got it. They're walking like they're on a mission. They're walking like they have a purpose. They're walking like they have a vision, right? And people see that. People will take notice of that, right? Just like they take notice of the women who look frantic and they're like all confused and they're looking down and they're bumping into people, right? Well, we live in a world and a society that there's a lot of that, right? A lot of distractions. But a woman who's graceful, she's cut all those distractions out because she is focused. Walks with poise. She walks with confidence. She walks like she knows where she's going, right? Because she does. She knows where she's going in life, and she's very confident about the direction that she's moving in. Saying that, this is going to lead us into the next. The reason why a woman with grace walks and moves with purpose is because she's focused on herself. Point blank, period. She's not worried about anybody else. She's not worried about the drama. She's not worried about arguments. She's not worried about gossip. She's not entangled in any of that. She stays far away from that. Not only is she not worried about it and not entangled in it, she's worried about herself. She's focused on herself, right? That's why they don't ask those personal questions, because in retrospect, it's none of their business. And at the end of the day, they know that that doesn't concern them. So they don't even bother to ask these type of questions. They're focused on themselves. That's where their attention is. That's how they keep their eye on the prize, right? They are focused on bettering themselves. They're not focused on competition and being competitive with other women, right? They're not about that. They're not about that, because they're looking at their grass. They're worrying about if their grass is greener for themselves. And if it's not, how to make that grass keep on growing higher and higher and higher. And that's how graceful women roll. That's how they work. They move with purpose because their purpose is themselves. And so the next one is all about clothing, right? Graceful women always know how to have themselves put together. Not only do they know how to put themselves together, right? But they also know what is flattering for them, what works for them, right? So you always notice with graceful women, they're not trying to keep up, like I said, with the Joneses. They're not keeping up on the latest trends. Like, they don't care about that. They don't care what everybody else is doing. They don't care how everybody else is moving. They don't care what everybody is investing their money in. They don't care about that. They have their own style. They have their own way of doing things, right? Not only that, but you will always notice with graceful women that they always keep it sophisticated, right? They always keep it tasteful. That doesn't mean that they might not dress sexy. They're gonna dress sexy, because graceful women are all about focusing on themselves. So they might be spending their time in the gym or doing some type of healthy regimen that keeps their body looking right? Because that's what graceful women do. They're focused on themselves. They're focused on their body. They're focused on their mind. They're focused on their soul, right? And they want to make sure that all elements of their life are in alignment, that they're all healthy. So they might have a beautiful, beautiful figure, right? But they also know that they don't need to go and show off their assets and their figure and everything they have to get attention. Why? Because they're graceful. They don't need to do that. They command the room when they walk into the room without having to do anything. They don't have to show off all parts of their body to get attention from men, right? Because they have an aura about them. There's something different about them, right? They stand out in the crowd. You start looking to be more graceful and you want that more grown up look, start looking to your wardrobe, right? You don't need to be buying those materials that are very clingy to your body, that it literally shows everything, like every freaking dimple on your body. No, that's the material you want to stay exactly away from, right? You want to invest in material that's free flowing, right? You want to invest in material that has that nice silky, like elegant look to it, right? You want to make sure that your clothes fit you properly, right? Even if there's clothes that are form-fitting, right? You want to make sure they're form-fitting, yes, but not tight and to the point that it's cutting off your circulation, right? You want to make sure that your clothes are clean. You want to make sure that your clothes are ironed, right? You don't want to make sure they're intact. So clothes that are all stretched out and clothes that have holes here and there and clothes that might be stained, you want to start getting rid of those clothes, right? You want to start replacing them with clothes that make you look nice and fresh, right? Because that's how it feels when you get into the presence of a woman with grace. It's like a refreshing kind of feeling, right? They bring like this aura with them, right? This breezy, easy, like everything's all good, like an easygoing feeling. And you know, you get that from different parts of their characteristics, and one of them is their clothing. So really think about your wardrobe this year if you're looking to embody more graceful aspects of yourself. Next one is all about appearance. And appearance is going to be a little bit different from clothing. They might coincide, right? Because appearance does, you know, part of it is about your clothing, but it's more about how you are taking care of yourself, right? So appearance could be anywhere from how you wear your makeup, you know, how you fix your hair, if you fix your hair, right? Appearance is all about being clean, right? Making sure that you are put together properly, right? So a woman who is very graceful is always going to keep in mind about her appearance. And a lot of people get this one confused, and I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of people feel when a woman feels very confident about herself and she takes pride in her appearance, that means that she's all self-centered, right? Self-absorbed. But a big part of being a graceful woman is always going to be about your appearance, right? You want to make sure that you're looking like you have slept your 8 hours. You want to make sure that, you know, you're taking in that water so your skin looks beautiful. You want to make sure you're taking care of your skin. You want to make sure you're taking care of your hair, right? You want to make sure that you're investing in your appearance and you show up like you're put together. You don't show up like, you know, you just had a hangover. You know, you look nice and put together. People know that you're investing in yourself. And right? My last one is a big one. When you are around a graceful woman, you would know, right? So there's a difference between confidence and arrogance, right? There's some people who they think they're graceful, right? And they are so full of themselves. They are so self-absorbed. So when you are around a graceful woman, a woman that is beautiful inside and out, a woman that takes care of herself, a woman that is confident, how do you know that? Well, she's not bragging about it, right? Graceful women never brag about what they have. They never brag about their money. They never brag of materialistic things. They don't brag of how big their house is. They don't brag about what kind of car they have. They're not out there flaunting it all over the place, right? They're not going to do that. So you'll notice when you are around a graceful woman that she is confident within herself. If you ask her to share, she might share elements of how she achieved those things, but she's not going to go out of her way to tell you what she has achieved, right? She's not gonna be boastful. She's not gonna be a show off. She's not gonna be a bragger. Like, hey, look what I bought today. I just bought this diamond ring. Like, she's not gonna do that. Like, whatever she's investing in, she's gonna be moving in silence, right? Whatever she bought for herself, you're gonna notice it because you're just gonna notice it. You know, she doesn't need to brag about, you know, she's driving this type of car, or, you know, her boyfriend makes this type of money, or her business made this type of money. She's not going to do that. So that's the ultimate characteristic you need to embody when you're trying to be more graceful, right? Live in silence. Let people guess on how you're doing things. If they want to know and they want to ask you, more power to them. See how you can help people out, right? But don't go around bragging about what you have, right? I'm going to tell you why graceful women don't do this. Because they know when they brag about what they have, it's this quickly that it could be taken from them, right? Because all the gifts that have been given to a person who's graceful all comes from a higher power, right? And they are enlightened to that. So graceful women do not brag. And if you're looking to be more graceful in your life, don't embody that. Don't be boastful. And I think it's hard in this day and age when everybody's on social media showing off and showing all parts of their life and showing all their materialistic things, right? You don't need to participate in that. You don't need to participate in that. If you want to encourage someone, for sure encourage them. If you want to show them how you got to where you got, or how you achieve what you achieve, right? Whether it's materialistic or in other forms of your life, then great. That's a great thing to be, right? But you don't need to be boastful. And those are two very different things, right? So those are my tips on how to embrace the characteristics of a graceful woman, right? So like I said, a graceful woman is a big combination of so many different elements, right? And the more graceful you are, that means you're carrying yourself with elegance. You're carrying yourself as a refined woman. You're carrying yourself with dignity. You're carrying yourself in a way that most people don't carry themselves in today's society. And that's why graceful women stand out, because they are different from the rest. They stand out because they're not trying to be in front of everything, right? And when they get attention, it's because they just get attention because who they are. They're not trying to get attention, but you know what? They're always gonna get it. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's because they carry themselves with elegance. There's an elegance about them. They're getting attention for how they carry themselves. They're getting attention because they're not following trends. They're not, following behind everybody, right? They're leaders. They don't need to follow everybody. They don't need to, shout from the mountaintops of who they are. Here, look at me, because people are going to look at them no matter what. So guys, those are my tips on how to be more graceful, embody that empowerment that us women do have in all of us. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.